It's been a while since we had a proper comparison on the channel. Today we restore this great tradition with a standoff between two legendary heavies, the Soviet T-72A and the American M1 Abrams. We kick it off with a traditional mobility test. At first, both vehicles keep roughly the same pace, but soon the Abrams takes the lead thanks to its more powerful engine. And then the difference just gets more and more pronounced. The T-72 is clearly falling behind when it comes to max speed. Okay, up next is the speed in reverse. This time it's immediately clear who's the winner. The American vehicle is around 10 times faster, and that's not an exaggeration. Turret traverse speed. The Abrams is faster again, around 2 times faster in fact. At this point, it's evident that when compared to the Abrams, the Soviet Heavy is considerably slower. Furthermore, it's incapable of turning on the spot. The design of the chassis doesn't permit one track to move forward while the other reverses. Moving on to firepower. This is an actual head-to-head, so there won't be any target dummies. The tanks are gonna shoot at each other. The Abrams is the first to shoot. Its top round, the M774, fails to pierce the UFP of the Soviet vehicle, with a small, vulnerable spot around the position of the driver as the only exception. The Abrams penetrates the Soviet LFP, though, but the damage is far from critical. We only hit the transmission and the driver. Shooting at the turret doesn't change much. You can get the breech and sometimes, if you land a real good shot, the sights. All in all, the T-72 can certainly take a punch. Now it's the turn of the Soviets. This time, it's the Abrams that's going to be on the receiving end. The Soviet Heavy has no difficulty penetrating the LFP of the American vehicle, partially because of its size. If you aim a bit to the left of center, you can incapacitate 3 crew members with a single shot. The mantlet is fairly big as well. It makes for a pretty easy target, and it doesn't take much to punch through armor here. Furthermore, if you land a good shot just under the target, you can wreck a few modules at once, along with a few tankers. What's the result then? The Abrams is clearly superior when it comes to mobility. In any kind of race, the Soviet tank doesn't stand a chance. When it comes to the combination of firepower and armor, though, it's kinda lacking. The difference is not as striking, of course, but the performance in these two fields is of vital importance. So, it's a combative draw. Well, that's it for today. You were watching... wait a second. It seems like the Soviet team is filing an official protest. They insist that we should compare vehicles of equal BRs. Sounds rational? Okay, another contender enters the match. It's the T-80. Let's see how that plays out. In the first challenge, the speed test, the rivals go head-to-head. But if we take a look on their mobility capabilities on the whole, the Abrams still should be a winner here. First, the T-80 still can't spin in place. Second, the Soviet reverse is still considerably slower, even though now it's 4 times slower and not 10. Finally, the T-80's turret still traverses slower than the one on the American vehicle. At the same time, the difference is not as drastic as before. Well, let's see if there are any surprises waiting for us at the firing range. This time, the Soviet Heavy will be the first to shoot. Its new round, the 3BM-22, easily pierces not only the LFP, but the frontal plate of its rival, dealing massive damage. Not to mention that you can often blow up the ammo rack in the rear side of the turret. And that's without using ATGMs. They're a great tool to deal with helicopters and long-distance targets. Okay, now it's the Abrams' turn. It seems that it won't be an easy fight for the American vehicle. Its only hope is to land a shot at the enemy's breech or to hit the vulnerable spot near the driver. In other words, the Abrams packs enough punch to make the Soviet tank worried, but not enough to win in a head-on engagement. One might argue that the Abrams has better armor on the side. That's all true, but in a real combat scenario, that won't be enough to level the field. A good tanker would almost never let an enemy see his or her sides anyway. That's why in this matchup, the T-80 snatches the title of the ultimate champion. It's slightly more difficult to handle and tougher to angle effectively, but its other capabilities make it a clear winner. The silver medal goes to the American vehicle, and the bronze is awarded to the good old T-72A. It's sturdy and powerful, but yeah, very sluggish. Well, that's it for today. Please let us know if there are other matchups that you are excited to see here. And we're talking aircraft and warships as well. See you in a bit.